I worked hard to quit. Is Jungkook quietly challenging K-pop's obsession with perfection? Was it just honesty? Or a subtle act of resistance? When Jungkook looked into the camera during his now-deleted Weverse livestream and said, "I don't smoke now, but still, why can't I talk about this? I'm almost 30 now. I did smoke before, like a lot, but I worked hard to quit and did so." The reaction was immediate and global. On the surface, it was a personal confession. A nearly 30-year-old artist acknowledging a past habit and emphasizing that he successfully quit. But within the cultural framework of K-pop, where idols are often expected to embody spotless morality, the moment carried deeper implications. Because in this industry, perfection isn't just encouraged, it's enforced. For years, idols have operated under unwritten rules. Avoid controversy, apologize quickly, maintain a pristine public image, and never disrupt the fantasy. Even legal, human behaviors can become grounds for public scrutiny if they conflict with fan expectations. Jungkook's decision to address his past smoking habit not defensively, not apologetically, but matter-of-factly subtly disrupted that system. And international media noticed. An article published by MSN and written by Bhavna Agarwal framed his statement as more than a viral moment. The piece argued that Jungkook's words represented a generational shift, a refusal to participate in the culture of moral policing that has long shadowed K-pop idols. The article's thesis was striking. Idols have historically been expected to apologize simply for being human. By openly acknowledging smoking as a past personal habit that he worked hard to quit, Jungkook reframed the narrative. He wasn't seeking forgiveness. He was sharing growth. That distinction matters. Because apologies reinforce wrongdoing, growth narratives emphasize maturity. Jungkook didn't glamorize smoking. He didn't dismiss criticism. Instead, he emphasized effort. I worked hard to quit. In doing so, he shifted the conversation from moral judgment to personal development. For an artist who debuted at 15 under BTS, this evolution feels almost symbolic. The teenage maknae, once carefully shielded from controversy, is now an adult asserting the right to speak about his own life. There was another layer to his livestream that further complicated the narrative. While being candid, Jungkook also defended his agency Big Hit Music under HYBE. He explicitly asked fans not to direct anger toward the company, emphasizing that they have always tried to protect their artists. That nuance is important. This was not a rebellion framed as artist versus agency. It was an assertion of adulthood within the system, not against it. And perhaps that is what makes it powerful. In Western pop culture, artists openly discussing past habits or personal struggles is almost expected. It often strengthens relatability. In K-pop, however, transparency can be double-edged. The idol economy has long thrived on aspirational purity, a carefully maintained illusion that blurs personal boundaries. Jungkook's statement punctured that illusion gently, not with outrage, but with calm clarity. I'm almost 30. That sentence alone reframes everything. He is no longer a teenage idol frozen in time. He is a grown man navigating adulthood under public scrutiny. By highlighting his age, he implicitly questioned why he should still be bound by teenage standards. The generational shift becomes clearer when observing fan reactions. Many international army praised his honesty, seeing it as empowering rather than scandalous. Comments flooded social media emphasizing how difficult quitting smoking can be, applauding his discipline rather than condemning his past. The MSN article captured this sentiment, describing his stance as a challenge to unrealistic expectations placed on idols. The phrase moral policing resonated widely, suggesting that the scrutiny idols face often exceeds reasonable boundaries. Is it really the public's role to audit every past mistake of an adult celebrity? Or is growth enough? This moment also intersects strategically with BTS's upcoming era. During the same livestream, Jungkook excitedly discussed the group's forthcoming album, Arirang, scheduled for release on the 20th of March 2026. He expressed pride in the project and hinted at a massive world tour extending into 2027. The juxtaposition is striking, candid reflection about personal growth alongside confident anticipation of a new creative chapter. It suggests cohesion rather than chaos. Some critics argue that idols should avoid discussing controversial topics altogether to protect brand value, but global audiences in 2026 are increasingly skeptical of manufactured perfection. Transparency, when delivered with accountability, often builds trust rather than erodes it. And trust is currency. Jungkook's brand has always balanced excellence with authenticity. From folding laundry on live streams to delivering flawless stadium performances, his appeal lies in duality: superstar and ordinary young man coexisting. By stating he worked hard to quit, he emphasized effort, discipline, and self-awareness, qualities that align with his long-standing image of dedication. In a paradoxical way, admitting imperfection reinforces credibility. Because perfection without struggle feels distant, perfection with struggle feels earned. The larger question now is whether this moment signals a broader industry shift. Will more idols feel empowered to speak candidly about past habits without issuing ritual apologies? Will agencies recalibrate how they manage transparency in a globalized market where audiences respond positively to vulnerability? Cultural change in K-pop rarely arrives through dramatic protest. It emerges through incremental normalization. One artist speaks openly, the backlash is milder than expected, the precedent is set. Then, another artist follows. If Jungkook's honesty becomes remembered not as scandal but as maturity, it could quietly expand the boundaries of acceptable transparency. And perhaps that is the true rebellion here. Not shouting. Not defying. Simply refusing to pretend. As BTS prepares for the Arirang era and an expansive world tour, Jungkook's candid moment may ultimately strengthen rather than weaken public perception. It frames him as an evolving adult who confronts his past honestly and takes responsibility for change. The industry once demanded idols apologize for being human. Now, a nearly 30-year-old global star calmly says he quit, worked hard, and sees no reason to hide it. That is not recklessness. It is confidence. So, is Jungkook challenging K-pop's perfect image standard? Maybe not with protest signs or fiery speeches, but with one steady sentence: I worked hard to quit. And sometimes, quiet defiance is the loudest shift of all. But here's the question that continues to ripple far beyond one deleted live stream. Was this really just about smoking, or was Jungkook quietly dismantling an entire culture of expectation that has defined K-pop idols for over a decade? When he said, "I worked hard to quit," it did not sound defensive, it did not sound ashamed, it sounded deliberate, grounded, adult. And perhaps that is exactly what unsettled some corners of the internet. For years, idols have operated under a silent contract. Be talented, be grateful, be flawless, and above all, be careful. Every gesture analyzed, every rumor amplified, every human mistake treated as moral failure. The culture of moral policing in K-pop has long demanded not just professionalism, but purity. And yet, here stood Jungkook, weeks away from turning 30, calmly reframing his own narrative without apology.